Greetings, Sonic Adventurers, it's Chappers here, and today I am extremely excited to announce the winners of the Heart of Fire competition. Now, we're in for a long one here because this is a serious deal for me. I've got a caffeinated black beverage on the go, and damn, that's tasty. This kicked off 4 months ago. That's a long time. I'm looking at notes down here in case you wonder what I'm doing. Basically, 4 months ago, I launched a competition called the Heart of Fire competition, and my aim was to find a new endorsee for Chapman guitars, someone that I felt would fit in amongst the current artist roster, because we have shred guys, we have neoclassical dudes, we have a bunch of guys who are incredible and they do their own thing, but we didn't really have what I would call a sort of bluesy field player, someone that didn't necessarily have to shred but gave off that kind of bluesy southern kind of thing. That's what I was looking for. So we launched the competition. The top prize was endorsement with Chapman guitars, an ML2 guitar and the Heart of Fire ML1 guitar, which was hand painted by the amazing Svi from Svi Art. Now, if you've not heard of Svi, go and look at Svi's work by going here, between my two shiny paws. Thank you so much to Svi for painting the last ML1 in existence. It's been a hell of a journey. It's taken 4 months to find the winners because I had 209 applicants and I wanted to watch every single video. And you might think, well, 209 times, 5 minutes, that's not such a hard job. But actually it was very difficult. Not just because the level of ability from the applicants was so high, but also because I wanted to be able to pick the right guy to represent my guitar company going forward. That's a big deal for me, So it was difficult. The other thing is, of course, we had the amazing Eddie Kramer and the incredible Misha Mansur helping me to pick the winners. And those are some busy guys, as am I. And it just so happened that when the competition closed, Eddie went into the studio to record an album of acoustic Jimi Hendrix songs, because of course he produced Jimmy with all sorts of crazy high-end artists. And Misha went into the studio to record a new Periphery album, and I had a bunch of stuff kicking off as well. So the three of us were really busy and didn't have a lot of time to dedicate to thoroughly investigating the people who'd entered. Anyway, that elapsed. We had some time, and I think I'd like to start off with special mentions. I did say at the beginning of the competition that I really wanted to make sure that if you entered and I thought you were someone who wasn't going to win, but that I saw potential in, or that spark of something special. Everyone has that, but these guys are my special mentions, and I'm just going to list them off for you. And if you go to the more info button about there, you're going to see all the URLs for the videos they submitted. So we'll start with a list of special mentions. We've got Mike Bradley, who actually really caught my eye. I see a lot of potential in Mike. Phil Braithwaite, really good technique. Danny D, Daniel Relp, Atanis Shishkov, Ben Porter, Fran Alonso, Adi Goranchik, Paul Stenton and Jesper Stown. These guys, as far as I'm concerned, are ones to keep your eye on. They are special individuals. So click on more info, take a look and see what they submitted. They don't win, but they win my respect. As in fact does everyone who entered. It takes a lot of balls to make a guitar video and bare yourself and stick it up for a bunch of people to watch. And we watched everything. So if you entered the competition, you had me watching your video, writing down notes, making comments, myself and my manager having a think about it. So you got some attention. So from the 209 applicants, I kind of thought, right, I'm going to have to find a top 10 and then really put more thought into it and submit a top 5 to Eddie and to Misha. So the top 10 are as follows. The first one was Nikolai Karageorgiev. Hope I pronounced that name right, sorry. And again, these are all going to be listed in the more information. J. Furas, Leonardo Guzman, Rocco Pezin, or Spacker189, James Bell, Morten Verstrand, Nick Guitarify, Spongy Rocks, Shred is Not Dead, 1986, I really hope it's not dead, and Chris Gedden Guitar, who is a friend of mine, so that was kind of awkward, but fun. So I took those 10 guys, submitted them to Eddie and Misha, and waited 3 months. Having discovered my top 10 guys, I thought it's time to really sort of focus my attention, give each video a double look, 3 looks, more comments, more notes, have a real think about the feeling, the spirit of the performance, the technical ability, but also the soul, the musicality of what they were doing. And I came up with the top 5. And it's the top 5 I then submitted to Eddie and to Misha. So, my top 5 were Chris Gedden, Nikolai Karageorgiev, Rocco Pezin, Morten Verstrand, and Nick Guitarify. These guys, as far as I was concerned, had an edge, a musicality, something pro feeling about them. I was happy for them to represent Chapman guitars. So they went off to Misha and Eddie. This is where it gets exciting. So Eddie emailed me back in the middle of recording this album. Just been working with all sorts of crazy people you wouldn't believe what you would believe. And he chose 2 people in no particular order that he thought from the 5 were really good. The first one was Morten Verstrand, and he said Morten is a very slick player, really fluid, a very experienced hand, very professional looking guy, really knows his stuff. So that was the first guy Eddie picked out from the top 5. The second guy was Nick Guitarify. Again, he said he had a great feel, a nice classic bluesy vocabulary with some country influences. And an interesting one because Nick obviously had much less experience than Morten, but they were very different kinds of players, and there was just an honesty in Nick and a sort of an advanced fluidness to Morten's playing. So that was Eddie's 2 choices. I then heard back from Misha. And by the way, I told these guys, just pick whatever you think from the 5, we'll have a chat about it and work it out. So Misha chose 3. So he chose, in no particular order, Rocco Pezin. And he said Rocco had a very creative approach, loved the effort put into the whole video, great player. He chose Nick Guitarify. He said he had incredible feel and tone, very, very tasty. And he chose Morten Verstrand, again, incredible feel and tone, great satch kind of vibe going on. So we had a couple of guys mentioned twice. So Morten was one of Eddie's choices, and it was one of Misha's choices too. Nick Guitarify was one of Eddie's choices, and also one of Misha's choices. And I've made a personal choice myself. So cue me on the phone to the guy that we chose should win the Heart of Fire competition, and he had no idea. Hello. Hello, how you doing, mate? So I'm calling about Monkey Fest and a bunch of other stuff. I'm looking at getting some artists to play Monkey Fest who are unsigned, relatively unknown, but can rip out some bluesy shiz. And you kind of fit the bill, bitch. Do you have a band?
No, I don't currently, which is a shame.
Yeah. Well, what about if you knocked up sort of 3 or 4 tunes, used a backing track, and then did something like that on the main stage? How would that go?
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you get for Christmas then?
Not much really, to be honest.
No.
Got a free pack of Elixir strings from the guitar shop, and that was quite amazing.
You got strings. I was talking about you to one of my mates a couple of days ago, actually.
Not me.
Yeah. It was a funny conversation. I was talking to my mate Eddie Kramer.
Oh,
no. And my other mate, Misha Mansour.
Oh, yeah.
And we were looking at the entrance to the Heart of Fire competition. And there are going to be a few winners. We've got obviously first, second and third place going on.
Yeah.
And we were looking at some fucking ridiculous players. So let me read to you what Misha said about your playing, because I think it's good to get feedback and sort of, get an understanding of where people who are industry professionals think you fit.
Yeah, sure.
So Misha said, Nick Guitarify, I sum this up in 3 words: incredible feel and tone, very, very tasty. So he thinks you're a meal. A tone meal. Yeah, so he actually, of the 10 people that I put to him, he chose you in his top 3.
Wow, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Wow.
It's kind of exciting.
I'm not sure what to say, really. That's something quite amazing, that, isn't it? God.
Well, so I spoke to Eddie, so Eddie gave me a call, and he's in the middle of recording this crazy album. It's an acoustic Jimi Hendrix album with Carlos Santana and Eric Clapton and all these ridiculous artists doing acoustic Jimmy tunes. And he came back with his choices, and he chose 2 people. And he had something to say about your playing too. He said that you had great feel and a nice classic bluesy vocabulary with some country influences. So that's Eddie Kramer, the man who produced Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Steve Vai, Jeff Beck, everyone. And between the 3 of us, we chose you to win.
No way.
Yes, way.
No way. Oh,
Happy
my
Christmas.
God.
So, I'm really happy to say that you've just won the Heart of Fire competition.
Oh my God, Ross.
And that means that A, you win 2 guitars. You're going to get the ML2 standard, and you're going to get the ML1 Heart of Fire. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm incredibly honoured and proud to have you as an artist. And Eddie and Misha think you're great. I think you're great. Congratulations, mate.
Oh, Rob, cheers, mate. I really don't know what to say. I'm going to go and cry for a little bit, actually, after this phone call in. Oh my God. I really don't know what to say, man. Just thanks so much.
It's no problem, dude. You got the one thing you've got that I think made you stand out is you have this kind of honesty to your playing. Like, I don't think you've been playing for very long. Like, I think some of the other guys have been playing, like, for example, Morton, who is, great player, and Rocker, they've been playing a long time. But I think you have a sort of naive honesty to your playing. And I think you're finding your feet, but I think the feet you're finding are good. Do you know what I mean? So, I see a lot of potential in you, man. And now what I'll do is I'll turn this camera off that's been filming you on the phone for the last...
You haven't been filming, have you?
Yeah, I have, yeah. So, there you have it. And I suppose it remains just to say congratulations to the awesome Nick Guitarify. And there is something else. Because I think the thing is, the guys that we looked at in the top 5, some of them were spectacular. And as a result, I have chosen to offer endorsements to some of them, and you'll see that popping up here and there as we progress our time into 2012. Thank you very much. Huge thanks to Svi Wheeler for the Heart of Fire guitar. Thank you to Andertons for retailing all Chapman guitars. Thank you to Dan helping me choose people. Thank you to Eddie Kramer. Thank you to Misha. And thank you to the amazing public on YouTube for supporting me and Chapman guitars through our fledgling years. Here is to 2012 and the next 3 awesome models. Take it easy. Chappers out.